What is your self-worth? Now, I'm not talking if you win the Powerball tomorrow night, which nobody won that last night. $1.25 billion. Would that help your self-worth? It probably won't if you feel worthless, because this is a psychological thing a lot of us suffer from. A lot of folks from time to time feel that they have no worth. Dealing with that, you might need some professional help, and I happen to know a guy. His name is Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services in East Lansing, to talk about this morning. Doc Braccio, good morning, pal. How are you?
Well, listen, very good, Mike. No complaints. And listen, a person's self-worth is critical to their happiness in life. It's really amazed me over the years when doing intakes with clients how many of them have feelings of worthlessness. This is very sad when one realizes how critical it is for persons to believe in their ability to achieve in life and have positive relationships with people. If someone has feelings of worthlessness about themselves, they don't see themselves as worthy to be with persons of character and strong self-worth. No, instead, they often live on the edges of life and wait for psychological and even physical abuse because of their belief they have no worth to themselves or anyone else. Persons like this can have some successful relationships and really can also gain employment. The problem is that in most relationships, they tend to be with persons who direct them, bully them, or generally control the course of, for whatever they do with it. This happens in abusive relationships where we see people being really beaten into the ground emotionally and really even sometimes physically over and over again because they believe they're worthless and deserve such treatment. Now, persons who see themselves as worthless do not have psychologically healthy relationships because they don't see themselves as worthy of having them. The sad thing is that many persons really feel worthless because of this belief is so entrenched as part of their personality. When someone is like this, they have little hope for happiness in life, and the only glimmer of happiness they get is from someone who may be taking advantage of them and may give them a smile or tell them in spite of their worthlessness, they can get a few things done with appropriate direction. Now, the question becomes, what does one do if you have genuine feelings of worthlessness and you can't muster the energy, desire, and will to successfully, to overcome them? Okay, well, to begin with, you need to take a time out, come to the conclusion you're worthwhile, can advance in life, can be loved and happy. You must accept the fact you're not worthless, and whatever flaws or deficiencies you have, you really have the ability to make these changes, and you can develop your strengths. Now, you need to be around good people that are willing to be supportive. I mean, you have to make some real changes in your life. People aren't going to take advantage of you. Now, this is harder said than really done, okay? It's hard to do, particularly if you've lived down to these expectations. Now, what do you do then? Well, you have to do some cognitive restructuring, okay? You've got to start telling yourself that you are a good person, a worthy person. When negative thoughts are coming into your mind and they say you're a loser, you don't have anything going for you, and you basically don't deserve to even try to have what we'll call a normal average life, you've got to go rubbish. You've got to say no. You've got to say to yourself when those thoughts come in, you are a good person, you're a good human being, you're trying to move forward, and you're trying to, make good decisions. And keep telling yourself that, because we are what we think, and if we're thinking negatively, and we take on the role of being a worthless person, well, that's what we're going to be. Now, if you find you really can't do this on your own, this is when you can, think about meeting with an experienced therapist who can work with you and help you on your voyage of becoming the worthwhile and happy person that you can become. So key thing, Mike, is really you've got to change your outlook. You've got to say, no more being worthless. No mas, it's over. I'm now going to be a good person by taking control of myself, having positive thoughts, doing the best I can, and not allow others to control my thoughts and actually end up me being the person who feels worthless. Very bad way to live a life, and you can't lead a happy life if you think you're worthless, Mike.
Yeah. Can Can you fake it till you make it? In other words, you tell yourself, it's a habit, right? And you don't have to, do the old, remember the Saturday Night Live thing? Al Franken used to look in the mirror, I'm worth it. You remember that guy? You kind of do that, though, don't you? But you do that and you fake it till you make it, and then suddenly it takes hold?
That's what you have to do. You really have to take an honest inventory of yourself, and you've got to say, I've got to quit this. I mean, this is really destructive. My relationships are with people that abuse me, take advantage of me. They're not hitting you. They're kind of running your life, and you have this feeling you're worthless. You really don't amount to anything. The world would be better off if you weren't in it. Then you've got to take that time out and say, whoa, Nellie, this is just not the way to live a life, and I can't live this way, and it's not effective. I need to really take control, sit back, and just start realizing, no, I am a good person. I'm a person who's worthy of love and respect and caring, but I've got to believe it. You've got to say that to you. They almost chuckle. You've got to say, wait a minute, I deserve this. I deserve to be loved and cared for, but I need to be a loving and caring and secure person, meaning you have to take the reins, if you will, of the horse of your own life, and really be in control. And a lot of people, like, that's harder said than done, because a person who's driving themselves and in control, they're going to say, well, just don't do it. I mean, tell everybody to go to heck or whatever it might be, and don't do it. Well, if it were that easy, you wouldn't have so many people with really low self-esteem, low self-image, and these feelings of worthlessness. And if you know people that really have feelings of worthlessness, it's a horrible life for them to lead. They're on this roller coaster. They leave their house in the morning, and they have no idea how they're going to be treated. They have no idea how they're going to deal with problems, or even when they're in the house, where they're really controlling, domineering type of a person. And they get to believe this. They are living down to their expectations of others and themselves. So you really got to really work on self-esteem, taking control, cognitive restructuring, restructuring statements that you're saying to yourself, because you're with yourself most of the time. So if you really have low self-esteem, you've ingrained, internalized what people have said, and that's not good at all.
Where does this stuff come from? Does this start early in life? Is this apparent to the, kind of berating a child? Where does this stuff come from?
Well, a lot of it certainly starts there. Maybe most of it when people are growing up, that they can be told that they need to be perfect. Okay, well, that's a good start of having poor self-worth, because perfect really is not a word that we use on earth. Okay, I mean, and once you start ingraining it, people say you're a knucklehead, you're a dummy, you can't get things done, don't even try, laughing at you, derision as you're a little kid. And a lot of parents, even those that don't mean it, when they, pick up negative names, and then the siblings pick up on it, and then the friends they have tend to be those that take control of them. And then in school, it's picked up on. So, yeah, it definitely can start early. You can pick it up, unfortunately, later. If you get around people that are domineering, controlling, and you give in all the time, then you can begin to see yourself as worthless if you're beaten down emotionally. So the main thing is just, if it happened when you were young and you ingrained those thoughts, you really have to say, this is not a way to live a life. I don't deserve this, in spite of all the things I may have done to keep myself down. You have to be free. I mean, some people find it in religion. Some people find it in a good secular humanistic view of themselves. I'm a good person. I deserve the best. But overall, it ultimately comes down to taking control and no mas. It's over. The game is over. I'm now going to really work on loving and caring for myself, and I'm going to effectively be able to have loving and caring relationships with others, because I'm not a damaged person now. I'm really working on this thing, and sometimes it can come fairly quickly, that a person can basically just come to the conclusion, I'm not going to live this way anymore. This is just too much. And just take control. That's what we need to do, Mike.
Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services, East Lansing. A whole staff full of professionals can help guide you through the labyrinth, maze of do you feel worthless? Doc, we're up on time as always. It's a pleasure and very informative. We'll chat again next week, all right?
Good talking to you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Doc. 1320 WILS. Mike Austin back with you in a second.